Good morning. Elle Ingalls here at pressure-free.com, elleingles.com. Welcome to day 2 of this deep dive challenge that I've put together for you. We're going to do 7 days. And instead of just my normal 8 minutes, I am broadcasting in Zoom, also on Facebook, so that we can go deeper on some things that cause people stress, on things that hold you back from being your best self. Yesterday, we talked about sleep, and I just want to share, I'm going to share this out, turn my phone over here, share this out. Hold on, I want to record this too. Just let me hit record real quick. So there we go. I want to go back to yesterday when we talked about sleep. This morning on my news feed was a really great article on how a sleep position actually is a factor in your brain being able to deal with some pretty nasty stuff, being able to actually clear out proteins, strings of proteins that are bent over and of no use anymore, that build up in our brains. If you sleep on your side, and I wish they would do a further study to tell us which side, because I know there's a difference between sleeping on your left side and sleeping on your right side for certain things too. So that is something that I found pretty interesting. I will drop the link to that in my feed for you. Again, it was an Inc. article on basically cleaning the brain. And yesterday we talked about that in regard to sleep, and how when you don't trigger the stress response, there's far less that you have to clean out. Your brain can actually work on some much better things for you when you don't have to clear out the stress hormones from constant stress hormone release. But today's topic is time, and we're going to do a little deep dive on time, because for most of the people that I talk to in casual conversation and my clients, time is an interesting pressure on us. Sometimes it feels like we never have enough time. And at other times, it feels like we have too much time on our hands and we're not really sure what to do with it. In both cases, it causes people anxiety. It causes people to trigger the stress response because it's like we're not really in the flow. We're not really present, if you will. And so we're going to do 3 things again here. First, we're going to talk about time a little bit, and early, on time, late, some of the stressors involved around time. Then we're going to go to that pressure-free framework again, targets, triggers, tools, specifically around time. And then I have a homework assignment for you too. So early, on time, late, which are you? Like, what is your tendency, I should say? Because sometimes, we all have moments when we're late, even though we're early birds, or vice versa. And if you think about it for a moment, what are some things that you're always on time for? For example, I'm going to use my husband as an example. I hope he doesn't mind here. But my husband is never late for hockey. So he coached youth hockey for 18 years. He coached other sports too, and actually he was never late for any of those. He was never late for his coaching duties, like ever, usually very on time. So obviously that's something he really loved to do. If you have something that you're always on time for, it's a clue that you place a really high value on that. So then take a look at places where you're sometimes late or just barely on time. Those are probably things that maybe they're have-tos, like you have to be there, but you don't really want to be there, or there's something else you would rather be doing. So you can kind of take a look at yourself first and really assess, okay, I'm always early here, I'm on time here, I'm often late here. Because none of us are just one of those things. We do have tendencies. And in your home, if you live with other humans are messy and we're all different. You may be, so let's say you're the early bird. I'm an early bird. I've got a couple people in my house, we are the early birds. And then we've got another couple people that are usually late to things. That's just how they operate. I've worked with people, some who are early birds and some who are late. There is a tension in a home and in a workplace where you have someone who, the early birds and the I'm a little bit late people. There's a lot of judgment around it. And there are reasons for people being late that I'm going to bring forward too. But the first thing I want you to think about is how many times do you trigger the stress response because somebody isn't on your same wavelength? You want the meeting to start at 10 a.m., but you're waiting for the stragglers to come into the conference room. You want to be in the car to get to this event on time with your family, but you're sitting there waiting for the stragglers to come and get into the car. And the other way around, someone's waiting for you and you're bustling around trying to get everything finished and find everything so you can get out there. So wherever you fall on that continuum of early to late, there's all these little stressors. And the first thing you need to do is acknowledge it and notice it. I used to trigger the stress response every time our family went somewhere. Almost every single time. And it would make me have to pee. So then I had to go back in the house because I triggered the stress response. And that's one of my symptoms. I have to go to the bathroom when I trigger the stress response. So now I'm putting people behind because I go back into the house. So I'm just bringing this forward because I actually just started laughing about it. Like if I was in the car and nobody else was there, here's what I started to do. I'm going to give a tool right up front here. I would always have something in my mind that I could be doing while I was waiting. Maybe it was do some emailing on my phone to some clients. Maybe it was look at my news feed, see if there's a good article to post. Maybe I was learning, if I'm doing Duolingo, learning French, I'll just take a French lesson while I'm waiting in the car. So what can you do if you're the one who's waiting? Because if you trigger the stress response, the other person gets in, you're going to be annoyed at them. They're going to feel that, and your trip is not going to be so great. Wherever it is you're going. Does that make sense? So if you can back that off a little bit, it's really amazing how just acknowledgement first and then seeing your own behavior, protecting yourself from triggering fight or flight just because you are the early person or the late person. Now, if you're the late person, usually what I find with my clients who are the ones behind everybody else is that you have probably from childhood, you were given some rules, like make sure this is all clean before you leave the house, or make sure you go to the bathroom, or make sure you do this, or make sure you do that. There's a lot of shoulds for you to be able to get out the door. And if you've accomplished those shoulds, you'll pile on more things. Say you have 10 minutes to get out the door, you'll think you can do something else in that 10-minute time that actually takes longer, and that pushes you into being late. So if you're the one that's usually falling a little behind at work or at home, take a look at what you're trying to pile in at the last minute and cut yourself a break. Realize that you can wait to get home to do some of those things. Back off of that a little bit and see if you can put a little more emphasis on being on time. You're going to feel better. The people waiting for you are going to feel better too. And there'll be a lot less tension. Plus, if you just notice the things that you're always on time for, the things you love to do, that can give you some clues about, okay, this is what I do when I'm going here. How can I incorporate that same kind of pattern over here? So we have different patterns for different things. And when you break the patterns that aren't working for you and shift them into ones that do, can be so incredibly impactful for you. So early, on time, late, that's our first thing we're going to do here. Now let's apply the pressure-free method specifically to time. Targets, triggers, tools, the 3 steps of pressure-free. What are some targets for you around time? Do you want more time in your day? I hear that so much because most of the people I work with are high achievers. They do a lot. They're the people that don't just work a lot, but they also really care about having a great family. So they're pouring time and energy into that. they're also the people volunteering in the community. So they sit on boards, they sit on committees at school, they go over and above, they always over deliver. And so often they'll be burning the candle at both ends and feel really burnt out and exhausted, but they're secretly hiding that because they actually love operating at a high level. So many people say to me, my target is I just want to have some more time for myself, or more time for my family, or more time for a particular hobby or something they like to do that they put off, that they don't do. So if you're looking for more time in the day, I want you to spin out this kind of a sentence for yourself. And if you're taking notes,
I'm sitting in a Zoom, but I'm not live.
hi, Ann, I'm going to mute you.
Oh,
No, you're good. I've got people on live on Zoom and live on Facebook, everybody. So that's pretty cool. And by the way, when we get to about 8:20 or so, I'll be going off of Facebook and into just my Zoom room. So if you want to come in there, just go to zoomwithelle.com. I'll admit you in, and that's our time for private questions and answers on the topic. So just a little housekeeping there. So take your pen, if you got a pen, and are taking notes, write this sentence. So I want more time so that, and then fill in the blank with one or two things, no more than three. I want more time so that. So my friend Anne, who's on my Zoom with me, she knows that one of my kind of fun things to do is write fiction. So I have written like a 600-page book, and I'm actually devolving into 6 different novels at this point. They're not real yet, though, because they're not published, but that's really fun for me. So one of my time things is I want more time to work on my fiction. That's really fun for me. What do you want more time to do? Maybe you want more time to work out. Maybe you want more time to hike. What is it that you want more time for? And Anne just wrote, I loved reading your fiction. I actually let her read my book. It's a pretty crazy book. And I can't wait to spin out what I've got here. I've got a couple screenplays I'm working on for our son's video production company that we hope to create into movies. So that's kind of cool too. But see, I need time for that. My main thing I do is pressure free. That is my life's purpose, is helping people get out of stress and anxiety and overwhelm, to literally save the world. Like, that is my mission. But this is another thing that I love to do. So what do you want more time for? Get very specific. Here's the deal. Sometimes my clients, they will open up time and they don't know what to do with it because they've never had it. They've never had that much time. I'm going to share about one of my clients. He was 50, he was 14, turned 15 when he was working with me. And during COVID, he fell very behind in his studies. He was missing like over 50 assignments and failing almost every class. It was a really difficult time, and his mom hired me. She was one of my previous clients, and she goes, I think you can help my son. So I started working with this boy, and brilliant boy. We were near, I think we were on our very last session, and he came on the screen, where he lives in Utah, I live here, came on the screen, had the biggest smile on his face. And I go, hey, what's going down? He looks so happy. And he goes, well, I passed all my classes. That was amazing. I mean, we only had like a 6-8 week period for him to make that happen, and he did it. And then we started talking some more, and he goes, by the way, I came up with a cool way to use the double yellow line. Double yellow line is one of my tools, and I'm going to give it to you here today too. What it is you imagine a double yellow line, which means on the road that you can't pass. And he was starting driver's ed, so double yellow line was cool for him, can't pass. You need to stay in your lane. You need to be present. This helps so much with time, because a lot of our time is sucked up with negative, fake worry. That's fictitious stories we tell ourselves are going to happen in the future, and we have no idea. We pile on, we snowball, we create all of this crazy stuff in our head. You're a great fiction writer. It's this new thing I'm starting to say. It's like, it's true. You write amazing fiction in your head about all these things that you think might happen, and you don't even know. So the double yellow line comes down, imaginary double yellow line. It means, oh, I've got to stay here. and be right here. You might be trying to multitask right now. I want you to stop for a moment and just come straight in this room. Because if this is the only tool you take away from here, it can make a huge difference in your life. It's one of my clients' favorite tools. So imagine double yellow lines on all of the activities of your day. That means for a kid who's in math class, they can't be thinking about their baseball game today. No, they're right in math class. They're just paying attention to the professor, teacher. They're just absorbing. So then they actually take it in and remember it. Because if you're negative fake worrying about the future, you're missing out on right here. We do it all the time in our personal relationships. You'll have dinner with your partner, your spouse, your kids, whoever, friend, and you're not really with them. You're thinking about tomorrow's meeting. So double yellow line helps you stay in the present. This is how this 15-year-old came up with using the double yellow line. He drew a circle with a double yellow line down the middle every day. On one side, he put his specific homework assignments and the chores for the day. His family's fabulous family gives the kids chores to do every day. On the other side, he put the things he wanted to do. Play this video game, go to the rec center, play with Jim. Like, what does he want to do? What's his fun? So he told me that he comes home from school, he draws a circle, W line, he goes in this side first and he does his chores and his homework. And then he flips over to this side and he does this. I go, this is brilliant. I go, so how much time percentage-wise from after school till you go to bed are you spending in the two halves? And he goes, well, it's about 60-40. And I go, so 60% homework and chores? He goes, no. That's 40% and 60% fun. And then he said this. He said, before pressure free, it was actually 95% in the chores and homework. And actually, some nights I never got to do any fun because I was spending time arguing with my parents because I didn't get this done. So he, on his own, crafted this double yellow line idea to get everything done so he had more time to do what he wants to do. You can do the same thing. What are the chores and things you have to get done today? And then what is it you want to do? Notice that he actually wrote out what fun he wanted to do that day. That's important because when time opens up, you need to know what you want to do. Then the time will open up for you because you've actually decided to do that. Here's another longer term approach to that, by the way. One of my coaches I'm working with these days, I love her so much. Her name's Shanda Sumter. She said back in like November, December, she goes, plan your fun for 2022. I was like, wow, I've never done that before. Like really planned my fun. I didn't just plan fun. I started to get more spontaneous about it. My son was running a marathon. He invited me to go. I'm like, I'm on it. Plane tickets bought. Just started to do these things that I just couldn't even believe I was giving myself permission to do. I was giving myself permission to have fun experiences. I'm going to take some time in October. I haven't taken a vacation since 2018, like a real vacation since 2018. I've taken long weekends and done some like 2-day things, but it's been 2018. So I'm 4 years, I'm actually going to take a vacation. So that's really powerful for me to be able to do. So plan your fun and then everything else can fit in there. So let's get to some triggers. This is going to go a little late here. Triggers. What causes you stress around time? Notice things that cause you stress around time. That is really powerful. So go ahead and write down some of your triggers, some of the things you notice. Is it because someone is late and you're early? Is it because you're the late person? Is it because you don't have enough time for something? Is it because you get to the end of the day and you're too tired to do something? So what is triggering you around time? Gaining acknowledgement about your triggers, now you can do something. You can notice when that trigger is starting to work on you and you've got your 10-second solution. So I gave you double yellow line as one of the tools. Negative fake worry is a huge reason why we get sucked into weird time. The other thing is we will scroll. Are you a scroller? Is scrolling eating up your time? And why are you scrolling? Are you just looking for some sort of dopamine hit? Like, what is the reason for the scrolling? Is there something else in your life that's missing? So you're looking for it here. A little scrolling is fine, but it's like, let's chill about that. So 80-20 is another great little time tool. 80-20 is the Pareto principle, where 20% of what you do gets you 80% of your results. But we spend a lot of time in the 80% and don't get as big a bang for our time as we could. So I'm going to go back to that student's example where he got very specific about what he needed to do. The next step was to prioritize. What's the most important thing on that chore list or that homework list, your project list? That if you knocked that out first, you've taken care of about 80% of what you need to do in the day. A lot of times we'll procrastinate on the things that actually give us the most power. If you're in sales, you'll put off talking to the people who can actually get you the best sales. You'll work in the ones you feel more comfortable in. Use your pressure-free tools, stay powerful, and dig into the 20% that's going to give you 80%. The last is a question. I'll have to give you 3 tools. So the last one is ask this question. Does this serve me? Does this serve my soul? Does this serve my family? Does this serve me is a really powerful, simple question that will start moving you away from things that actually aren't in your genius zone, aren't in the things that you really want to do in life, or that serve your higher purpose and what you're trying to really create on the planet, and move you over into something else. For example, you might start watching a movie or reading a book that you don't really like. You don't need to finish it. As Tim Ferriss says, practice the art of non-finishing. You can actually turn it off or close the book and bring it back to the library or whatever, and pick something that serves you better. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to go off of this. And by the way, if this is helping, please feel free to share it, like it, heart it. And also, if time is an issue for you, it's really time to clean that up. If we clean up that using pressure-free, I have a client right now who gained 3 hours in her day. 3 hours. And she's so much more productive in her day. She's getting more done during her work hours. So if this is something you're interested in, just go to speakwithelle.com. Let's have a conversation and see how pressure-free could take you to that next level. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of Facebook and go live with my people on Zoom. So let's do that right now.